So the Galaxy Z Fold 3 is Samsung's latest and greatest flagship foldable, packing all sorts of power and incredible features, so it really should be a no-brainer to upgrade to it if you're interested. Or even if you have a current folding phone, especially since it's $1799, which is a full $200 less than last year's model, which is $1999.
Okay. Well, my birthday not too long ago. But is it really worth it though? Now, what I brought up before is really important. Now, that's mainly what I'm going to talk about in this video on the majority is if you already have a folding device and if it's really worth the upgrade to this new one. Now, personally, I have a Galaxy Z Fold 2 as my daily driver. And honestly, I have really nothing but good things to say about this phone. You know, minus a couple of issues I had with Samsung's customer service. I honestly can't see myself going back to a normal brick phone ever again.
Now, when the Z Fold 2 released, Samsung put the absolute cutting-edge technology into its $2,000 flagship phone, making sure that the price tag was justified, by only having the absolute best components put into the device. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same about its successor. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't believe that the Z Fold 3 is a bad phone per se. I think there are many things that they did right, but ultimately, I don't believe that it's worth the upgrade for the audience that it's trying to capture. Now, let me explain. Now, starting with the technical side of things, the Galaxy Z Fold 3 comes with the latest and greatest Snapdragon 888 processor with 256GB of internal storage and 12GB of RAM. The camera touts a 12-megapixel tri-camera setup for the back and a 10-megapixel selfie camera for the front display and also a 4-megapixel under-the-display selfie camera for the inside folding screen. The battery is a 4400 mAh cell and it should last you around 8 hours of regular charge with regular usage.
So with all that said, Samsung seemed to just really go with basic upgrades all around the board. Upgrading the specs kind of seems like every other smartphone every single year, just upgrading the minor specs. But no, that's where you're wrong.
Yeah, on the surface everything seems quite good, as it does sport the latest and greatest Snapdragon, and to give Samsung the credit where it's due, the phone is incredibly snappy. With my own personal testing, it does feel pretty smooth. But besides that, almost everything about this phone could be seen as either equal or downright a downgrade from last year's model. First, I want to start with the battery. The phone has a 4400 mAh cell, which is already 100 mAh smaller than last year's, which could be attributed to making the phone slimmer, but it even do that, as it's the same thickness as last year's. The explanation that I heard was that the screen itself was made thicker to accommodate for the new S Pen, but don't worry, I'll get into that in a bit. So the battery is slightly smaller.
No big deal, right? Wrong.
Well, normally it wouldn't be, as the front screen can be used as a sort of battery saving mode, as it uses much less power to run. Well, that was the case with the Galaxy Z Fold 2, as the front screen was only 60Hz and dimmer than the new Fold 3. While that sounds like a bad thing, it was great for battery life, as you can get well over a day without charging the phone. There's many times after a busy work day or school that I get home, even after using my phone probably more so than your average person, I had well over 40% to play with before I was looking for a charger. This just wasn't the case with the Fold 3, as you'd be looking for a cable well before you get home if you're a power user like me. Now, of course this compromise would be fine, as long as what you get in return well makes up for this downside. But to save you guys the suspense, the S Pen isn't the accessory I think we were all hoping for. The new S Pen isn't your typical S Pen, like the ones seen on the Note series, or not even the ones you see on the S21 phones. The Fold Edition S Pen that they're calling it is a special pen that has a retractable tip that helps prevent the screen from getting scratched. It's a cool idea, but you can just tell it's just a temporary solution to a long-term problem. Also, unlike the Note phone, there isn't anywhere to store it.
Which makes it kind of pointless.
I just hope we see a new Note phone again in the future. Now my last point, and probably my biggest, is the cameras on the Fold 3.
They're exactly the same.
That's right, the Galaxy Z Fold 2 has the exact same cameras on the Z Fold 3. They may look different, but they both have the exact same tri-12 megapixel setup. Which, don't get me wrong, they look great, but in comparison to the S21, this feels like a dated camera set. The Z Fold 2 inherited the S20 Ultra's set of cameras, so it's really bizarre to not keep the trend going with the Z Fold 3, as it seems to be Samsung's flagship model phone, but it's missing crucial features like an up-to-date camera. Now, of course, the other things to point out about the camera is the in-display camera that's on the inner display of the Fold. And all I can say about that is you can tell that the tech is in its very early stages. As seeing it in person, it's very obvious that it's there, and that probably won't change anytime soon. Still, it's kind of weird that Samsung chooses its most expensive phone to try and experiment something like that on, but hey, I'll give them points for ballsiness. Now, of course, there are some pretty cool upgrades I didn't mention, like the IPX8 water resistance and the hinge that makes it closer to the phone body to make it less obtrusive. But overall, I don't believe that this is the phone that Fold enthusiasts that already have a Fold 2 should consider getting. I don't believe Samsung has done enough to warrant an upgrade from its predecessor. Now, if you look at the phone like the Flip 5G to the Flip 3, there are many substantial upgrades to warrant that jump, but for Samsung's main foldable, it didn't seem to get the same love. In an effort to make the device cheaper, Samsung accidentally made the whole experience cheaper as a whole, and now it feels more like an experimental device than ever before.
But anyway, that's just my opinion. Well, what do you guys think? Now, honestly, if you don't have a Z Fold 2 or any other foldable and still plan on getting a Z Fold 3, I honestly strongly encourage you. I don't believe there's anything wrong with the phone. It's a great phone. It's still a wonderful phone overall. In my usage case, I think it's a wonderful phone. But compared to the other ones, I just don't think it's worth the upgrade. But if you don't have a foldable, go ahead and get one. It's an amazing phone at a great price. And honestly, just join the foldable family because it's a fantastic phone. But leave your opinions down in the comment section down below. And leave a subscribe and a like, as just puts a smile on my face, and I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.